Good.
Hey everybody, I have my client Lisa here. She just graduated FitSet's one-on-one program. We did 12 weeks and she dropped over 12 pounds, 9 inches of body fat in that time frame. It's been a crazy season. That was through Thanksgiving. We're coming into the holidays. So I'm super, super proud of you. Super impressed with all the progress
Thank
you made.
you.
It's a crazy life. And you have 4 kids, right?
5.
5 kids! 5, yes.
Yeah, you're taking one of those off. No, I need all of those to count.
You
They
are
all counted.
mom goals. Mom goals. You have like a 6-pack now. You're freaking
Oh gosh, you're
amazing.
sweet.
Oh my gosh.
Thank
So
you.
you came to me 12 weeks ago, 13-ish weeks ago, like feeling frustrated, kind of stuck. Can you kind of like walk us through where you were at 3 months ago when you
Yeah.
joined FitSat? Like how were you feeling? Where were you at? And why did you join?
So I had done a different program that was less expensive for 12 weeks and put like a couple $100 into it and 0 results. Like I did not drop a single pound. Maybe in there I dropped and then gain it back or whatever, but like 0 results. I was super frustrated every time I was saying, I don't think this is working. It was like, well, let's give it another week. And anyway, and it was too much. It became, I would do it and then I was like, this isn't working. So I'd stop. And anyway, total mess, confusing. I just thought, I guess I'm too old. I've had too many kids. Maybe this is just where I'm at. I'm thin enough. I guess I'll just, you know,
And how many
leave
days
it
were you
at
working
it
out?
is.
You were working out pretty
Oh,
intensely.
I worked out a ton. Yeah, I did a lot of cardio and weights. I was probably working out an hour and a half at least in the gym, and I'd just come home dripping in sweat, and it just never made. I was fit fat. I just didn't look, how I should for how much effort I felt like I was putting into it. So,
Yeah, treading water, right? You would just like
oh, for
12 weeks.
sure.
You're like, why is nothing happening for all the work and energy you're putting into this?
Yeah. So
So
I just kept thinking, well, I guess it's me. I guess I have no willpower. I guess I can't. Something must be wrong with me.
yeah, which I feel like a lot of moms and a lot of busy women, like when you try something and it doesn't work, then it's like, oh, it like we feel horrible, right?
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'm broken, or like I've had 5 kids,
Broken.
like I have
Yeah.
my metabolism or my hormones, which for some people it definitely can be. But again, you're a
Right.
healthy individual. You have overall, great habits. It wasn't like you were eating horribly when we started, right? You were working
No,
out
no.
very consistently, so it wasn't for all that effort. And I think we said on your consult call, we were like, maintenance mode, we've got you. We will. I think I very confidently said, I will
And
get
I was like, okay.
12 pounds down in 12 weeks. And you did see that range, that 12-pound
Yeah.
range, that one
Yeah.
something range, right? Where it hit 12. And do you feel good? Like when it fluctuates up and down though, did you feel okay? Like when it was trending down, like the fluctuations,
Yeah.
was
Like
that a learning curve for you?
knowing my body now and keeping track of it for those 3 months, I was telling you today, I mean, when I start to get hungry and I'm like, man, I have no willpower, I'm like, now wait, let me go look back in my chart. Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Because I'm about to start my cycle, or this is the time where and so it's been so informative to understand how I work, even and looking back at the trends, going, okay, I know that this is just this time right now that I'm kind of hungry and it will, get better and then I'll have a big drop because I've seen it happen a couple of times now. So
There's always
I
a
know it
reason,
works.
right? Like you have that deeper connection
Yeah,
with your body now. And it's weird because
totally.
having 5 kids like cycles as women, right? We have our cycles every
Yes,
4 weeks, and it's hard when we don't have that connection of like, all right, I'm having cravings or I'm not
right,
hungry because I'm at this amount on this week of the month. So I'm so glad that you have that deeper knowledge now. Um,
right.
what was something that you learned? Because it was a brutal 12 weeks. We kind of dug deep. You again had like a really good baseline. Was there anything interesting or new or exciting that you learned along the way?
I think I told you before. I mean, I just feel like you guys broke it down so simple. Like, if you're in a deficit, it will work. And I'm like, no, I mean, I had so many numbers swimming in my head with previous coaches, like eat this amount of protein, eat this amount of, carbs and fat. And it was like, it became too overwhelming for me as a mom of 5, like making dinner for my kids and trying to keep track of all my, and our day isn't always the same. It doesn't always go as planned. And so then I'd get thrown off and I'd be like, forget it. This isn't going to work. It must be my fault. But now, like having that freedom, that knowing that as long as I stay within this range, I will continue to see results has been huge. And it's done exactly that. Like if I stay in, it works. If I don't, it doesn't. So, I
Yeah, can you
mean,
kind of explain the money analogy I was trying to explain
oh,
the other day, and I'm like, I am not saying it
yes,
as nicely as Lisa. So you kind of broke it down to your
you're so funny.
husband.
I was talking to my husband about this and I'm like, it's like a budget. You have X amount of dollars. And if you stay in that range, you won't go into debt. But if you go over even just, $20 here or 20 pounds there and 20, it all adds up. And so, but then by the end of the week, you're either in debt a pound or two, or you stayed on budget and you lost or saved the amount of money that you had allotted. Because I mean, it just made so much sense to me. It felt so much like just budgeting just in
Yes,
general. And
I
as a
love
mom, I totally like that made sense to me. Like if I stay in the right amount and if I have that little leaky faucet, like I won't lose as much or, save as much or whatever. So,
Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing. It's I think a lot of people in the industry fitness industry like overcomplicate it, right? Like there's so
right.
many different things we can focus on. Like you said, it's kind of like parenting styles. Like there's just so many things, so many,
So much to, yes.
right?
Well, and that was the thing in
Yeah,
your budget, like you get to a lot where your money goes. And if you choose to spend on a big ticket item, you just don't have as much. And to me, that made sense with food. Like I could eat something that was high calorie, but then that might be all I could eat that day. And I had to pick and choose. So it was like, oh, within this budget, I have the freedom to either eat
yeah.
more or less based on what I choose. And some days it was worth it to eat
Yep, right. We love
the
pizza.
junk, and some days it wasn't.
We love pizza, we love carbs, we love all those things. And
Yeah,
yeah, do you
yeah.
feel like you had to deplete carbs, or did you have to like be
No,
obsessive, which we did want you to hit protein, right? But like, were you obsessive about it the way that in the past maybe?
no, not like in the past. I really just watched that bottom line, that budget of where my calorie was. And as long as I hit that, if I ate better, I felt better and I was more full, but you will still lose weight on the junk. You'll just be starving. I did a little bit of that here and there too, but that was also, like I said, I mean, it was just nice to know, like to figure that out for myself and be able to just like make better choices because, you know, I
Yeah.
got to eat more if I made better choices. So,
Yeah, and how did like going through Thanksgiving, like as far as being a lot of people like get nervous when they commit to investing in the program, like, all right, I have something like everybody always has events coming up.
yeah, I know. Oh,
We
I'll
had a
do that
lot of
for the
birthdays, a lot of
holidays.
holidays. How did
Yeah.
that go?
But that's the thing is there's always going to be something, right? It may not be a holiday, but like a birthday or a social event or something. And I honestly looked at it like I want to learn how to eat better during the holidays because that is the time that everybody always says. So to me, I actually was glad to go through this during the holidays to learn how to do it the right way.
Yeah.
If that
Was
makes
your
sense.
mindset shifted? Like, did you feel better compared to years past?
Yeah.
Was there any changes you made?
Yes, and we had family in town and we went out to eat a lot and I just, prepped it mentally like where I was going to allot those calories for the day and, maybe made different choices in the morning or the afternoon if we were going to go out to eat at night or whatever. And it just made sense to me. It really did.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
Simplified
Like,
it so much.
right? I know it's hard because and what I said before, you were doing an unintentional bulk, which and I think
Right?
that's right, like unintentional bulk, like maintenance mode. So now you kind of have that knowledge of like for each
Right.
specific level of like where food intake could be, right? I think using
Right.
that past as your learning experience, like you now know that
Yeah.
calorie range is going to put you at a maintenance versus like our experience, we were able to put you in an actual deficit. Did you feel miserable at the deficit we put you at, or were you
No,
pretty?
no. It was actually, I felt like we worked together really well because like you put me at a deficit and I was like, whoa, that's a lot less. But I did fine on it and lost quite a bit of weight. And then you guys were like, well, it's up to you if you want to go more aggressive or kind of stay where you're at. And so, we balanced that out. And I thought
Good.
it was great. It was great. It was great.
Yeah, and it's all about collecting data, right? Like we now know
Yeah.
like at this certain point you respond, and again, it's up to our clients like how aggressively they want to lose, and if they're okay. We do have some
Right.
clients that are like, I am cool with half a pound a week, and I am okay with that. I have other clients that are like,
Right.
2 pounds, and they like in a balanced, sustainable way. So I'm glad we found
Sure.
that. You feel good like leaving
Oh,
off
yeah.
pretty
Yeah. I
sustainable.
wasn't starving, but I was losing enough where I was seeing results consistently that kept me
Good.
motivated to keep going. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it drives me crazy. A lot of people think they have to restrict and like be extreme to lose weight. And it's like, no, no, you don't need to
But
do
that's what the diet industry tells us. Like,
that.
you
It's
need to do this and that, or cut out all
no
carbs, cut out
carbs.
this.
Lisa,
Yeah,
how many times did
all
you get pizza? Like you and
protein.
I are pizza girls. I love it because I love pizza. So,
Yes.
right? You lost 12 pounds and still enjoyed pizza with the kids. Oh,
Yep.
did you have to like cook all the time? I know like cooking meals for your
No.
family. Did you have to cook separate meals for yourself like all the time?
No, in fact, I never did. I usually would try and plug dinner in so that I knew that I could eat with my family and then kind of, it's like that little game of Tetris. Like if I could start plugging in a
Perfect.
meal that was important to me with the kids and the family, then I could adjust the rest of my day. Or if like we were going to have, sports events with the kids, I could adjust where we were going to eat out or whatever, and then just kind of play that game of filling it all in. So pre-logging was huge,
Yes, right.
huge.
That's
And
a
that was,
full habit.
but then once all the food's in there, then it became easy because then it was like, oh, I had the places I like to hit. I had restaurants that we went to frequently where I knew what I could eat that I liked. And so it just became really easy, like after the first week or two.
That's so good to hear. So excited for
Yeah.
you. So you have all this knowledge. Is there anything that you would say to somebody who maybe is in the same place? Maybe they've tried other coaching programs or they've tried on their own and they aren't really getting anywhere and they're also kind of treading water and they're on the fence about joining FitSet. Is there anything you would say to them
I
about
would say for me, even the investment made it more worth it. So it was like a big investment. I have 5 kids. I mean, I was like, wow, that's kind of a lot of money to invest in just me. It felt a little selfish when I've got, all these other things. But at the same time, it was also a motivator. Putting that amount of money in made it like, this is going to be successful. So any of those times I kind of was like, oh, I'm just going to cheat or I'm just going to throw in the towel. I was like, no, I put this investment in. It is important to me. I'm going to do it. And then it got easier.
the
And so I think that honestly, putting that investment in, working with you guys, having accountability monetarily and like over the Zoom calls that we did and having you guys see my work and going, okay, we're going to talk about each one of those things, and not in a bad way. You guys were never like, oh, you shouldn't have done that or anything like that. But having that accountability with the money even was actually kind of huge.
do you
And I
see
remember
that
you had
psychology
said
of
that
life,
before.
right?
Yes, because when I'd only put in like $100 before, it didn't sting as much when I cheated.
You're like, man, I used to
You know
do
what
a
I
boot
mean?
camp for people and nobody
Yeah.
would show up. Nobody would ever come. And then it is ironic,
Yes.
like, right? Like I want to make sure like our programs are accessible for most people. And I
Yes.
understand it's a huge
Well, it's
investment.
accessible, but like it has that little bit of sting where it's like, okay,
Yeah.
you don't just say I'm ready to do it and then like not put in the effort. When you're ready to do it and you put in the money, it's important. And so you do it. It becomes more important, I guess, is
Good.
maybe
Yeah. It's a
the
weird
right.
psychology. And it is
It
scary.
really is.
When you
Because
do
I mean, my
it, you
husband
find
tells
out.
me all the time, I'm going to lose this amount of weight, XYZ, I'm going to eat better. But when it doesn't sting and there's no one holding you accountable to it, it goes nowhere. You
It's
know
so
what I mean?
hard. Yeah. Cause it's like, I'm not really losing anything. It's like
Yeah.
$100, whatever. And versus like, I'm investing thousands. This kind of hurt.
Right. Every time I was like, oh, I don't want to get on the scale today, or I don't want to get undressed and get on the scale. Like, it's cold outside. I don't want to be undressed. Anyway, all the dumb little excuses. I was
Yeah.
like, no, I put a lot of money into this. I'm
Um,
getting undressed and getting on the scale. I'm doing the work.
yeah.
I invested in this. I don't want this to be for nothing.
So was it worth it? Can you say now going through the experience?
Totally worth it.
Little
Totally worth it.
scary.
It was, but like I said, I mean, totally worth it.
Okay, good.
Totally worth it.
Glad to hear
I
that.
absolutely loved it. I'm so appreciative, and I just feel like I honestly I don't think I could have done it without putting in the investment and having you guys.
So proud of you.
I literally tried so many times that nothing stuck, and I'm
Yeah.
super grateful. So thank you so much
We're
for your
so proud
program.
of you. And you are mom goals. You are
You're
just
so
an,
sweet.
an amazing example. I think I know we said this before to you. Like a lot of people blame their kids and be like, "Oh, it's there." Like I can't. And it is hard being a mom myself now. I understand it is very hard
Yeah,
to put money or time or energy into myself when I want to pour that into my kids. But in the
yeah,
long term scheme of things, right? Like you have to help yourself in order
Right.
to invest in your health and to be there for them for the
Yeah.
long term, right? So it's that
And
mom
we
is
spend
so
money on dumb
critical.
stuff all the time. Like it was about time to, and now I have the knowledge forever, right? Like
Yeah.
hopefully I'll just, I'll just maintain and I can lose. Now I know how to do it. So
And you have daughters,
that's
so like,
huge.
and even your sons, like what our hope is like the knowledge you have now can like pour into their lives. And if you're
Yeah.
growing up and you have teens and hopefully
Hmm.
be that healthy example for them. I know like my mom was constantly dieting growing up,
Yes.
constantly like, oh, carbs are bad, or like the, Atkins or whatever, Jenny Craig, all
Yeah.
right? So it's so cool to see like you're gonna be that shift for your children and pour into their lives all the things that we've taught you, and you can just continue to pass that on and be that example for them. So
I know.
thank you for doing ever, like seriously, you were the best client ever, and just taking action, and some weeks were harder than others, but you always showed up for yourself and for us, and we just appreciate you too. So
Thank you. Thank you. The feeling's mutual. The adoration is mutual.
so if anybody is watching and you're curious about FitSet, go ahead and click my website. That's the link in my bio on Instagram or jesshutchinsfit.com. We did a consult, right? I try to make it like a friendship with our clients. We want to make sure we're there to
Yeah.
support. So we always start with the free consult, talk about your goals, your struggles, all the things. And if it's a good fit, you can definitely get going with coaching. So I appreciate you, Lisa. And if you're watching and you have any questions, feel free to email me, DM me, text me, all the things. Hope you guys are having a great day. Goodbye.